this game, you know?
It's like Kane won, but he basically did it by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty... And Guitarcheese could have won at any moment in time, so... Or, like, it was really, like you said, by the skin of his teeth. I think that's a really dumb English phrase. There's so many English phrases that don't make sense. What does that mean, by the skin of your teeth? Do your teeth have skin?
So technically speaking, your enamel is not actually... Well, it basically is like the skin of your teeth, right? Because
you don't count enamel as part of the tooth?
Well, it's not the part that, like, it's supposed to be like the protective layer that you don't feel, right? So that when you bite into stuff, you don't...
I mean, you don't feel your hair, but do you consider that like part of your body, or...?
You mean, yeah, but you could also say, like, he got in by, like a hair's breadth, right?
Yeah, but hair makes sense, because hair is, like, thin, and it's, like, barely there, right? Just by a hair. You won by a hair, like a very thin margin.
Yeah. The skin of your pretty teeth. Thin, I guess if you mentioned... I don't know.
Spawning in at the top left from Team Solaris. I've been corrected. Yesterday I said Solarius, but it's actually Solaris.
You said Solarius?
Yeah. Wow, this music's so loud. We have the Guitarcheese, and in the bottom right, representing Team My Insanity, playing on tag RIP-NA, we have Kane.
I wonder when the last is. Do you know if Kane is actually in North America? I know he spent a lot of time in like Korea. He spent time in Taiwan, I think, and also a lot of time in Switzerland at the My Insanity team house. But I don't actually know when the last time he's been practicing in North America is.
I don't know, Doug. These guys move around all over the place. I didn't even know Paul was in North America still. So
Polt's been living in Atlanta like this whole year, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he lived in Austin all year last year. I think he's like probably one of the least Koreans right now, because he doesn't even practice other Koreans as far as I know.
Wow.
I guess Violet lives at the same like training house as him, but not necessarily relevant to this best of 3.
Sure. Looks like we have same as last game. Pretty similar openings, each with their own individual timings, but more or less everything is going to come out to a wash. Everything's going to be about the same.
Yeah, hatch first, spawning pools, slightly faster gas for Kane, but as we saw in the last game, that didn't necessarily do much for him, aside from getting maybe his lair a little bit more quickly. But, you know, then on the other hand, you have a little bit more mineral income for Guitarcheese with the later gas, so it all kind of offsets it in its weird life finds a way type of way. So the next best of 3 in this group it's the whole order is predetermined, right? So one of these guys plays against either Hero or Life.
Yep, Kane will be playing against Hero. Yep.
Okay. That should be one of the more interesting matches to see, especially since I know Rotterdam like wouldn't stop telling me about how he had like this absolutely sick best of 7 between Hero and Kane that like went to like somehow 8 games because he used like some weird format. They use like horse format where you had to win by 2 or something. Like apparently it was like really good, but makes me excited to see what Kane can do against the Korean players, because I don't think anyone gets out of this group without defeating Hero or Life at least once or twice.
Well, I mean,
you
by definition, I think you would have to beat them at least once in order to get out of the group. Yeah. So yeah, that's very true. Guitarcheese setting up the spine crawler once again. Everything looking pretty similar to what we saw last game.
Yeah, his queen just dancing around trying to get rid of these links. So I mean, it's a nice scout for Kane, but he doesn't really see anything different from what he's doing. And once again, I have to say I'm not a huge fan of how fast Guitarcheese gets this spine crawler. But the only thing I could think of like is if he had to worry about a fast attack. But he's Overlord. Like on this map, your Overlord scouts that hatch first so quickly. Do you really need to build the spine crawler this quickly to defend?
Yeah, so like this is what I do like in Kane's position. Maybe I'm a shitter, but I'm just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go take my third right now. You've got a spine crawler up. You're probably not all-inning me. Like I guess you could, but if you all-in me after building a spine crawler, like I'm gonna flame the hell out of you, you know? Because like who does that? Like it would be really dumb. So like you take a really fast third, knowing that your opponent is playing a little bit turtly, and then you do whatever they do on 3 bases. So like if he's going Roach, okay, I talked to Vibe, so Vibe said this was good. So it's not even just me. Look, like right here, like you scout the Evo chamber, and then. Is there a Roach Horn yet? No Roach Horn.
I think it's...
Yeah, then the Roach Horn goes up. You just, as Kane, like imagine if he'd just taken his third. Like with that spine up there, like Guitarcheese isn't doing anything super early. Kane just takes a really early third, drones it up pretty early, and just starts massing Roaches. Like what does Guitarcheese do in that position? Like you're behind a base and you're just down in every conceivable way, you know?
Yeah, I think I agree, only because of the spine crawler argument. That kind of really shows like Guitarcheese doesn't want to get aggressive or build a lot of units. But I do think that Kane might have been a little bit concerned seeing Zergling speeds. Like usually the player that gets speed earlier has the map control, so you can take your third base more freely. Because imagine if Guitarcheese builds 10 lings and Kane tries to take that third before creep spreads over there. Like he can just force a cancel really easily on him. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those situations where Kane's going to be like defensive or like cautious in his own way without investing actual resources into it.
Sure. And we do have both thirds going up for both players. It looks like Guitarcheese is actually quite a bit faster this game than Kane's, whereas last game Kane's was a little bit faster than Guitarcheese's. Right? I'm pretty sure it was, right?
Yeah. Kane's was a little bit ahead. That's just the advantage of opening, I feel, with speed. Like, you know that you're safe, especially since Kane didn't get speed. Like, there's no way that Kane could have pressured that early third. He has some roaches on the map now. He's getting his +1 in his roach speed, but you kind of mentioned this in the last game. With Defender's advantage, pushing with low numbers of roaches is rarely going to do the trick for you.
Both players with their missile attack upgrade and the roach speed upgrade finishing pretty soon. Both players with identical numbers of roaches. Both players with 14, one building 8, one building 9, now 11. And
it's a pretty mirror setup. Kane's Overseer dips in to check that third base, and he knows now about, or at least he knows that there's not too crazy saturation at the third. I think if you see that there weren't a lot of drones at that third base, like, yeah, my opponent's already starting to build a lot of roaches, but since Kane's also already building a lot of roaches, it's kind of like a standoff, really. Like, I don't think either player has much of an aggressive opportunity. Kane's going to move forward with these roaches, but since we can see that he's building drones behind this and not fully committing to roaches, like, I just don't think there's much he can do.
Yeah, and kind of like that fake pressure. And Guitarcheese actually could have gotten caught with his pants down there. He had a lot of drones in making. There were like 11
He's still
drones
making
on
a lot of drones.
Yeah, and there were like 11 on the production tab. But Kane just doing kind of that fake ZBZ pressure, where you just kind of like pretend to move out and then you move back immediately.
I actually really like what Guitarcheese is doing, because Kane hasn't started his +2 upgrades. Okay, wait, he's already contaminated it. Okay, that was a very fast contamination on Guitarcheese's +2. But Kane's +2 also gets contaminated. Is this like, do you see this a lot in your games? Like, people just contaminate all the time now?
Depends on how try-hard you want to be. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to do. You make or not easy to take, but I mean, like, it's one of those things where you probably should be doing it every game. You typically make the Overseer anyway, and there's only really one thing you contaminate in this matchup, and that's the Evo Chamber. I mean, you could go for one hatchery, but usually there's a lot of larvae sitting there anyway, so.
He's contaminated again. How many Overseers does he have? Just these two. He's contaminated the +2 attack twice, so Kane's +2 should be able to get, I think, actually, yeah, because it was started later again, so now they're just even once more. Huh.
Oh, wow. Kane actually didn't even get link speed this game. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Not even at all. Huh.
Little bit on the greedier side as far as trying to, like I said, trying to take third base or anything like that, but it's kind of worked out for him. He's managed to eke out a few more drones, although I don't know if I should say that having a couple more drones even matters in this situation, because it almost killed him by not having enough actual fighting units in the last game.
I hate Roach vs. Roach so much. You feel like you're doing everything good, and then that big attack comes, and you're like, what the how did I even lose? I played perfect. And then you check the replay, and it's like, they have 44 drones on 3 base. You're like, oh, come on. Are you real right now? And you just couldn't build enough roaches?
Like, well, I'm sorry for trying to saturate my 3 bases.
Yeah.
It's like, man. So both players are getting... Oh, actually, a burrow on the way now for Kane again. I think the burrow play actually worked out really nicely for him. Like, when you're playing Roach versus Roach for this long, if you can get away with it, I feel like there's very few circumstances in which getting burrow is ever, like, bad. Like,
yeah, I mean, you burrow
I don't know how many people have lost games because of the 1 or 2 roaches they couldn't build because they got, like, the burrow upgrade.
For sure, and the ability to regen HP and whatnot is just so nice, too. After a big fight, you go back and, 10 or 20 roaches are all, like, at half health, and you burrow and you regen all that HP. That's money that you save not having to remake those roaches so they die easily in combat,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's going to come towards the back rocks over here on the left side. But, I mean, this giant ball of roaches is waiting. Gonna kill rocks. It's like, okay, actually, if you want to come up this ramp, sure. Have fun. +2 armor starts up for Guitarcheese, so he's up, like, just 1 upgrade for now. For a little bit in that armor. But Kane's +2 attack and his armor are going to finish. And he actually contaminates that +2 attack when it's at 190 of 190. Do you see this?
Uh-oh.
He's like, it's actually done, but it's not.
It's not done, it's just rounding.
He's got another Overseer here, too. He's going to double contaminate it. Oh, he's so close.
I wonder if he realizes how close it is. I'd finish.
Yeah. That is... I've never seen an upgrade get stalled at the actual max timer. That's
weird. Guitarcheese and Kane looking to fight here. I think Kane's got a slightly better concave, but then Kane steps into Guitarcheese. I think Guitarcheese is going to take this fight.
And he's got a bigger spread. He's got a bigger spread on these forces, and since they both have Overseers, like Burrow isn't really going to have that much of a hand. The advantage for Kane, of course, is that he can reinforce a little bit more quickly, but the spread for Guitarcheese still looking pretty good, and Guitarcheese does have the roach count lead at this point. They should be able to push Kane back. 40 roaches being pushed at the same time by both players.
And Guitarcheese pulls back. I said he was going to win that fight, right? I called Guitarcheese.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the Oracle. Don't worry.
Just making sure. I like that Guitarcheese pulled back this time instead of overcommitting. No, don't do it. No, he's gonna overcommit now. Look, like, this is a scenario that you were talking about. Yeah, this is a scenario you were talking about. Please just burrow and regen your HP. It's so good. There's no reason not to have Burrow here to just regen all of it.
So many of his roaches are just a few hits away from dying, and now the roach harass has begun too. He's running over to try to cancel the 4th base. Kane's 4th base is already done, so if he holds off here, then he's in a pretty good spot. And now he's going to come in. He's got a really good surround with these roaches. And Guitarcheese, his army already being softened up, is definitely not doing him any favors, as even the Queens are able to pitch in now since he's fighting so close to his base.
Yeah, but I mean, Guitarcheese has a lot of roaches here. Kane is going to be forced to pull back a little bit, but I mean, lots of roaches on the way. Reinforcements for Kane, 25 roaches queued up right now. I don't know if Guitarcheese has enough time to actually snipe his 3rd. And
yeah. Getting on top of that 4th base is like almost a really important part of this game now, but he's going to take trades all the way through, and as the roaches finish, it's that rush distance that allows him to replenish his army so much faster. He does snipe a Queen on the way out, but with that 4th base being completed, it allows him to split drones off from the main base to help saturate, and he's got this high ground position trying to fight, and I don't like fighting in this.
Wow, I don't know if Guitarcheese just feels pressure to go in. I don't think Guitarcheese is in a good spot here to move up on this ramp.
Yeah, Kane is ahead in roaches. He's ahead in overall roach count. He's got the closer reinforcement point, and Guitarcheese's army is going to get smashed down now.
So I think Guitarcheese saw that Kane had his 4th established, and then Guitarcheese's 4th got canceled. So I think he felt like he had to move up there and win. Otherwise, he wouldn't have a chance. So I think that was kind of Guitarcheese's last.
And Kane still has roaches sharking around too. He's in the main base. He's going to pick off another Queen. Killing Queen's always nice, preventing... Okay, forces the Burrow on the Queen. Queen's got some fancy moves of her own, I guess. More roaches coming out for both of these players.
Man, this is like
I guess
worst.
That's not the biggest surprise.
Yeah, this is the worst. Roaches. How many ZVZs do we have today? Oh, Jesus.
3 ZVZs, my man. Your body's ready for lots of roaches today, Steve.
Our last 3 sets are Life vs. Guitarcheese, Life vs. Kane. On the Hero vs. Guitarcheese.
They said the final match is a ZVZ?
The final match is Hero vs. Guitarcheese if it needs to be played.
Oh, okay. Well then, that means all the ZVZs are guaranteed to be played. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Lots of ZVZ. Guitarcheese's roaches are not really in a position to defend the left side, so more roaches should be able to slip into the main base. Lots of contaminates actually being thrown out in the hatcheries to delay larva production, but Kane's already maxed out. Guitarcheese kind of limping his way there. And now he's got roaches in the main. Kane doesn't actually have to take a fight because he has this 4th base. Like, he's just ahead. So there's no real reason for him to force a fight until he has enough bank to completely remax on roaches after a battle.
Very true. 2-2 upgrades done for both players. Guitarcheese chasing with his entire army. He's losing his 3rd one 100%. Kane is going for it. I know Kane's going for it.
This massive roach force. Actually, why is the roach warren over here? Oh, wait, he's got 2? Okay.
Maybe he would go. He's worried the one in the main was going to snipe. Good position here for Kane. Guitarcheese in a really bad spot. Lots of roaches were stuck behind the other roaches. Although his roach count here is actually really good. He does have enough. Guitarcheese will have enough to kill it, even if the
but the thing is, as long as Kane trades though the resources. Look how many are on the production tab for both players. Like he's got tons of money because of that 4th base to throw into replenishing his forces, and as inefficient of a trade as that could be, he still has roaches planted inside of Guitarcheese's base. And he's still going to be able to remax faster because of that fourth base economy.
Very true. Roach is streaming across the map for Guitarcheese. Guitarcheese senses blood in the water.
Potentially.
Wants to go for that fourth, but I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to. Kane already replacing the lost Roaches. Guitarcheese is playing from behind, like, for how long? How long has Kane been running that fourth? Like,
for a very long time. He's going to try to move into Kane's third base. Kane's going to move his Roach ball forward into this army. And he's got that, that ye old defender's advantage of being able to reproduce these Roaches right at the site of battle. And with Roaches coming down from the fourth base to help cut off the retreat path of Guitarcheese, he's still having a grand old time here, and he's taken a significant supply lead. He's going to be able to remax still faster. He's surprisingly limited by gas in his Roach production, which isn't terribly common. I guess just another sign, man. He's blowing through his money, but with a 60 supply lead, I think he's done a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, just Guitarcheese is kind of running out of options there. His fourth is almost done on the side, but he's so far down in supply. He doesn't have an upgrade advantage. Not a disadvantage, it's just even. I mean, Kane is kind of picking him apart. Kane still has Roaches burrowed in the natural. I just don't see, I don't see too much Guitarcheese can do at this position. Although I would have expected him to lose a lot earlier. I mean, he has held on for quite a bit. He's a trooper.
Yeah, maybe Kane's overestimating at this point how much Guitarcheese has, because he pretty much could just kill him. And now he's in the natural, picking off what drones are left over here. And as this main army moves towards the right side, I think maybe, like, at some point he's actually peeling off so many Roaches that he's not fighting with the full brunt of a maxed out Zerg army, which does open the door. And we also have to take into consideration, I guess, that he has a lot more drones.
Guitarcheese is also pulling quite a few Roaches. If you look in his natural, that's a lot of Roaches. Oh man, more drones going down for Guitarcheese. Guitarcheese losing almost all of his economy down to 33 drones, 30, 29.
Well, where haven't we seen Guitarcheese lose every single drone he has to Kane before?
Yeah, but at least then he had the money to actually build a maxed army. Here we're sitting at 143 supply, less than 100 minerals in the bank. Only 15 drones mining. Guitarcheese getting picked apart. I think Kane is going to walk away with this one with a pretty good 2-0.
Yeah, this is an awkward spot to be in for sure. And Guitarcheese put up a good fight, but you know,
what a bad. And this
he's
sucks.
Just limping forward.
It sucks for either of these players to lose this series, because if you do, that means you have to be Hero, and you probably have to beat Life in order to like get out of the group. So it's like nobody wants to.
This is the series that you're supposed to win for both players.
Or like the easy series you're gonna get in the day at least, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, life is not going to be an easier ZVZ for either of these players.
Yeah.
I have a strange feeling. Guitarcheese has actually managed to get somehow a lead in army supply. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but Kane, he's got the bank to trade this whole army out and then replenish and then completely remax, which, you know, ideally that's what you want to do. He's kind of throwing some Roaches away now, but there's not really much left to harass. However, he's pulled the whole army to the left side, so now the right fourth base is completely exposed. And this, I would say, I guess there's no real economy for Guitarcheese to try to mine these minerals with anyway. But it's another hatchery down, and yeah, Guitarcheese is like completely broke.
Yeah,
I'm honestly not sure what he's supposed to do here.
He just waits for his 2 Roaches to spawn, and then he just goes for it, I guess. There's man, I hate Roach Wars.
It's still funny to think that he has more Roaches than Kane, despite having no economy.
Yeah.
He's got 12 drones.
Kane's got the right idea here. So Kane is like, all right, I'm gonna build spines. You can come attack me after I kill your shit. You can leave. It's pretty much what's going on in Kane's mind here.
Yeah, I think just build a bunch of spines because it opens supply to build more Roaches anyway. Oh, he canceled the spines, so he could get a little overmax.
Those 2 extra Roaches.
Hey man.
Every Roach counts.
It's if he wins the fight and only has 2 Roaches left over, I guess that you know it becomes literally the greatest Starcraft play ever made. And then he remakes this because he has 3,000 money in the bank anyway. So Roaches are going to come in for Guitarcheese. He's going to get on top, and yes, he does have more Roaches than Kane, but we're about to see the production tab explode with more Roaches. Yeah, 22, and Guitarcheese's pitiful economy is simply not going to be able to keep up. GG, Kane takes the 2-0 victory here. Not bad at all by Kane.
Good. I mean, he played that game was a lot the first game was pretty scrappy, I would say, on both sides. That game was a lot more cleanly executed by Kane, I would say, the entire time. Evidently.
Yeah, I agree. The game wasn't quite as messy, although I think we both agreed that it was definitely a little bit of an opportunity for him to kill him a little bit faster.
Possibly. Yeah, but it's just, I can understand, like, it's one of those weird things where, like, you don't actually know, like even I, like, as an observer who's played a fair amount of ZVZs, sometimes I have trouble, like, eyeballing, like, is that who's gonna win that fight? So, like, in ZVZs, like, you never know. Like, I'm sure there were places where, like, he probably thought, like, I'm probably ahead here and I can move in, but it is a tournament and you're like, I don't know if I want to just, like, run in with all of my units and see. I'm pretty sure I'm ahead. So, like, I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier too, just playing it out a little bit safer, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a tough series.
We take a quick moment to check our scores. Is this confusing? Some people were complaining this was confusing. So the left number is the map score. No, the left number is the series score, and then the right number is the map score. So we can see that I should probably update these, huh? That Kane won his series 2-0, and he's currently up 1-0 in series. Guitarcheese lost his 0-2. Our next series that we have coming up is going to be Hero versus Kane. And then after that, we've got Life versus Guitarcheese, then Life versus Kane, and then Hero versus Guitarcheese.
Yep.
Wow.
Lots of good matches coming up, man. We're like, what now, one third of the way through the group, pretty much?
Maybe, or almost half, depending on whether or not the sixth match needs to be played or not, yeah.
Alright.
Cool. Before we take a quick break, I don't think I mentioned my sponsors yet today. I want to go ahead and run down the sponsor list. We have the Wood Watches guys. The Wood Watches guys, which are awesome. I have my own.
Yeah, you actually got one of those watches, right? I think I saw that they.
So
how cool is that? I was actually looking at their site before you even announced that they were sponsoring you. It seems cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a pretty it makes me feel like a hipster. Sometimes I go by the local colleges today, and I mean, I'm 25 now. I feel a little bit old. Like, I don't know if, like, the kids respect me or whatnot. Bam, throw on a Wood watch. Girls are like, whoa, what's that? Like, I've never seen that before. And it's like, oh, it's a watch. I'm like, oh, and like, it's made of wood. And they're like, oh.
It's made of wood.
Yeah, you know? It's not the only wood I've got on me right now, right? Get it?
Jesus.
Did you hear my other sponsor, woodshoes.com? Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, no, the watches are really cool. They look really nice. I mean, I have one. I wore it all during the Red Bull Atlanta tournament. I like it. I'll probably wear it more because it goes with my coat come the winter months. But yeah, I mean, that's really cool. Go check that out. www.woodwatches.com. We've got Fear Dragon that does the North American Breaking Out. I don't know if he's ever going to expand that to Europe or not, but he does a Breaking Out series where he tries to feature North American players. If you go to i.destiny.gg, you can see all of these links in the sponsor section. Click his stuff, check his stuff out. He highlights up-and-coming players. I want to say he actually did a player that's really well known before. I want to say it was Kane, but I don't think it was Kane. I think it was another Zerg player. I'll find out more for that, and I'll talk about more about that tomorrow. But he does a lot of cool stuff with what he does in terms of fooling around. Check that link out. The Video Game Voters Network. Basically, if any of you guys ever played poker a long time ago and you remember, like, the Poker's Player Alliance, Video Game Voters Network is basically you join the mailing list and they kind of keep you up to date on any relevant legislation that's going through Congress. It keeps you informed so that you know, like, hey, there's, like, some laws being passed that are going to screw over, like, video games and the United States. And if you go and you sign up for that now, there's a free computer being offered called the Mini Zeus by one of those computer building people. But go check that link out, the Video Game Voters guys. And then the final dude is the Let's Kung Fu guy. I don't know why he chose that name. I saw that he responded in the Reddit thread that he said that he used to actually do Kung Fu. And there was a line in a Bruce Lee movie once, but I'm not familiar with any of those movies, so I don't know. But basically, he does show matches, he does interviews, he does articles. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got a whole bunch of stuff at the on his Facebook page you can check out. Go check out all those guys. They all made this tournament possible. You know, they all donated money. Well, not donated. I guess they paid for sponsorship spots. So make sure you're not killing esports by just leeching off the stream, which I know the majority of you are going to do. Wow. Whew. Anything? Am I missing anything? My Red Bull sponsor's coming up. I'm going to be drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah,
I have to stay awake through these Roach versus Roaches. God. If you're going to show off your sponsor, maybe you should at least make your bed, you slobbish. Wow.
I don't speak Spanish, Steven. You know that.
We're gonna go ahead and take a quick like 3 to 5 minute break while we hop into this next set. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. If you're watching, you should be watching from www.destiny.gg/big screen, because that's where all the big bosses, that's where Tyrone watches from, that's where Nathanius is at. Can I see some Nappas in chat 2 minutes from now? God, I love... You've seen the new Nappa emote, right?
I've seen the new Nappa emote.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
We'll catch you guys in about 4 or 5 minutes, all right? We'll be right back.